Southern Moravia has a lot to offer to expats, and one of the things that it offered me was the chance to follow a huge exhibition entitled the Mucha Trail. Before Paris, before the Slovanska epopee, the Slav epic, of 20 monumental canvases chronicling the history, the legends, and the spirit of the Slavic peoples. Before all the posters and the halos and the fame, there was this little village in southern Moravia. Wine, hills, unexpected detours. And for a brief moment, in the summer of 1860, the man who took on the title of the father of Art Nouveau, Alfons Mucha, was born. His father was a court usher, his mother deeply religious. A gifted child, he drew constantly on anything that he could find. He sang in the choir here, and he looked up at these same skies. As an expat, I think a lot about the places that shape us and how they stay with us even when we leave. That's why on this cool, windy day, I wanted to start my own Mucha Trail right here, where it began. Because when you live abroad, you start to realize where you begin matters. Ivančice is small. It's not a tourist town. It's not a glamorous place. But maybe that's why it holds the kind of truth that you can't find in a gallery. And from these quiet streets, he carried a vision of beauty into the entire world. Today, the Mucha Museum honors his early life. Let's take a look inside and see what we can find. It's small, but that feels right. Beginnings are always small. Outside, through this little courtyard, is the actual house that Mucha grew up in. Photos, sketches, fragments of a life that began in these streets. We all start somewhere, and for me, walking this trail as someone far from home, Ivančice reminds me that beginnings aren't small. They're seeds, and sometimes they grow into legends. Here you can see the seeds, his love of nature, his fascination with the divine, his first experiments with light and line. You can feel the gap between this small town boy and the vast visions that he would later paint. Mucha, when you painted these women with wildflowers and stars, were you remembering these gardens, these skies, the rhythm of life here? I think maybe he was. In reality, Art Nouveau already existed before Mucha's fame. In Belgium, Victor Horta was building full-blown Art Nouveau houses by 1893. In France, Jamard was designing the Paris metro entrances. Tiffany in America was already working on glass and interior design. The term Art Nouveau itself came from Siegfried Bing's gallery in Paris, at the Maison des Arts Nouveaux, which opened in 1895, the same year as Mucha's Gizmonda. Mucha became known as the father of Art Nouveau because of the massive success of his 1895 Gizmonda poster of Sarah Bernhardt. And later marketing and popular writing, they wanted to give a face to a very complex, multi-origin style. But what Mucha actually did is he created the most iconic, popularized graphic version of Art Nouveau. The flowing hair, the mystical women, circular halos and borders, soft pastel colors, complex floral ornament. His posters made Art Nouveau a public sensation through mass market advertising, magazines, calendars, packaging, and even menus. It was art for the people on the streets. Because his work defined the look that most people recognized as Art Nouveau, the father title stuck. He was literally the poster child for Art Nouveau. So if you want to ask, is he the father of Art Nouveau? Well, yes, of poster art, and for the whole entire movement. As an expat, I think a lot about the places that shape us and how they stay with us even when we leave. Mucha left Ivančice when he was young, but I wonder if he ever stopped seeing it in the faces and the flowers and the halos. When I moved to this country, everything felt new. But coming to Ivančice and seeing this, it reminds me that everyone starts somewhere, even Mucha. Even the greatest visions can grow from humble places. And as an expat, and now especially with all this DNA stuff, I think a lot about identity, about where our stories began and how they travel. Mucha left Ivančice. I too left my home. But places like this remind you, you don't have to forget where you started. You carry it with you on your path, in your voice, your vision, and your art. After Ivančice, Mucha's path wasn't easy. He went to Brno, then Vienna as a theater scenery painter, where he encountered big city art. He struggled, he wandered. He took regional painting jobs in Moravia, in Vienna, Znojmo. And then we get to the forgotten chapter in his life. Stay with me for episode 2.